about suicide. Every day think about taking my life. Every day think about suicide. Every day.
I got my guy, man. Walt probably been there like 3-4 times already to the station. When we talk about activists, like we see activists on TV, but we really don't see it and know it. You know, and somebody that's really in the community that's doing it.
Boots on the ground.
Boots every single day, day in and day out, with all these activities, with putting out information to the community, right in the community that he lives in. He still lives in the community.
There we go.
One of the leaders, one of the guys to help new councilman-elect get in for Ward 5. So Walt is a guy, man. And me and him, he when I first started my show, he came at me correctly, like, yo, you need to be X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I hear you. I just don't know him. And then from there, man, our relationship grew. Because he stepped to me with a situation, and I came back, oh, yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about him. That's what I think more black men we should do when our understanding is there, and then we grow from that.
Exactly.
You know?
Harmony.
Give it up one time for my guy, Walt, free thinker. Since 87.
Since 87.
In the building.
Age now.
Well, I always disclose my age, y'all. I don't care now anymore.
It's good now. 87 sounded real good 10 years ago.
It did, right?
Yeah.
Walt's in the building, man. Community activist, I call it influencer, community and hip hop artist. Let's not get it twisted.
For sure.
There we go.
Nice.
Let's not
Go
get
with
it
the best
twisted.
of them.
A whole
Yeah.
resume.
Yeah, let's not get it twisted. But what I like him about it is he's all about his community right here in Ward 5, and he hold people feet to the fire every time. Every time. What's good? It's good seeing you.
Cool, man.
Cool. I said I'll get you on as soon as the campaign was over.
You did. You kept your word, man. I appreciate that, man. Shout out to my guy Richard Starr, man.
Yeah.
Came through, put it through. Shout out to Dolores Gray. You know, we appreciate you as well.
Yes. It's gonna. I mean, it's good. Change is good. New is good, and you always try to get it so it get enhanced for what everything else, right?
Yeah.
So whoever Ward 5 was doing before, we want to enhance it to the next level. Because it has been doing. Like if you look at Ward 5 now, it's been looking well. Like we working.
Yeah, it's coming.
Working.
All right. Yeah, I remember from our interview in 2019, right before the pandemic hit, and we spoke some stuff into existence. I don't know if you know or not, man. We talked about the $107 million police headquarters.
Yeah.
We talked about real estate, and I was just saying, like, what if something happened and my program can't be sustainable while I'm here? I need my own building, and that happened. Like, pandemic hit, and I couldn't be sustainable. It's crazy. Yeah, thank you.
That is dope. Yeah, we did talk about we know a little bit more about it, the politics of the things and what's coming up upon the horizon more than the normal people. But the corridor is here.
It's here.
Now, how's the corridor going? I would like to know what you think about the corridor affecting Ward 5 and what's going on with that, and building a new police station literally up the street from here.
Yeah, so the corridor, man, we just rode through it. It's weird to me. Like, I ain't adjusted to the corridor yet. But that police station, that headquarters, they say they don't want to call it a police station. I don't think that should be here. We already policed enough in Ward 5. We got a CMHA police station. Then we got the police station right up the street in Kingsley, which is 5 minutes from here. Then you got the police station on Carnegie. So that's like all within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
but one of them is being moved. So I think the one on Carnegie.
Oh,
yeah.
3rd District.
Yeah, I think that, because this Thursday district here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the new Thursday district.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I don't think they're going to use that one anymore.
Yeah, that was just something I didn't agree with, though.
Yeah. Oh, no, I completely understand. When we talk about community, I always do things like that. I always, you know, they're supposed to build a new Cuyahoga County president. We want to think, like, where are they going to put it at?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We question that.
Right in the heart of the hood.
Or we hope they don't.
They do.
We hope they don't do it.
They do.
No, they did build the juvenile detention home right there on Quincy, right? You know what I'm saying? They're like, why would they build that on Quincy that kids every day wake up and see that?
Every day.
Wake up and see that. Like, it's right there, smack.
You ever been in there?
Yes, I used to work at CMSD. You have a school down there, so I used to go in there.
Man, they treat them like adults. Like, they in there locked down like how I was when I was in the county. I'm in there speaking to them, and they spirit was gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, man.
I've been down there.
Wow.
I was there for 2 years, you know, educating them kids.
Cool.
And so I was there. I seen that it is.
It's crazy.
It's jail for them.
It's jail.
It's jail. It is through and through.
Yeah, man.
Jail for them.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is 95.9 FM. Walt is in the building. So you come in, you want to talk about suicide, right? The suicide.
Yeah. So okay. So before we get into that, I wanted to say this to you real fast because you know you're my brother, so I can say this to you. But the community activist term, I don't like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a watered down term in my opinion. And no shots to you.
Oh no, right.
I know you're giving me my flowers while I'm here.
Yeah.
But I want to consider myself as a community specialist because the things that I survive, you know, makes me special and being active. Like it's a difference between people that's living in the hood and being active in the hood. So being active coming from the street perspective, going through the neighborhood fights, the neighborhood shootouts, and overcoming that and going against it is different. You know what I'm saying? It's a different feel. So I like the specialist term more than the activist.
I like that term too, specialist. I like that neighborhood specialist. Go ahead.
When you were growing up, did you always want to be a community specialist? Did you always want to be active in your community, or is that something you grew into as you matured and just started seeing some of the changes that were happening around your community?
Much love on the specialist too. I appreciate it.
So, you know, we quick here.
For sure.
yeah, quick, right? Guys, what we do?
That's something I grew into. I always been this way though, like, but you know, growing up in the hood, man, and growing up in these projects, being a poet, being an intellect, wanting to be a politician is not accepted. Right. You either had to be an athlete, a drug dealer, or you was known to carry pistols or knocking somebody out. So I couldn't show who I really was because I was embarrassed. I didn't have any backup. I didn't have any role models. So I just put on this face. I put on this face to survive in the community. But I've always been this way. And when I went to prison in what was that 2012, 2011, and I started to read more. You know, people go to prison, they read. You know, they get the GED. You know. So yeah, when I went to prison, man, I had a bunkie. My bunkie name was Walter as well. And he asked me what I wanted to be. He had life. He'd been down forever. And I told him that I wanted to be a pastor. And he was like, read the Bible from front to back. And by the time I got to Revelations, I closed the Bible like, I'm cool. I don't be no pastor. You know what I'm saying? So I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder in prison. I couldn't sleep. My chest kept beating. I'm calling home, telling my mom, like, I ain't gonna live. I ain't gonna make it. She like, boy, be quiet. You gonna be all right. So I couldn't sleep. They tried to prescribe me these meds. And I didn't want to take the meds. So I started to write poetry. I had got that Wale album, Ambition. And I got that J. Cole, the Friday Night Lights. So I got that shit to me. Man, I heard those guys and I just started writing poetry. And I promise you, when I started writing that poetry, I used to be up to 2 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. Every time I would write a poem at the end of the night, I would sleep. So I started writing poetry. And I started writing film scripts inside of prison. And I started to sleep. So that was like therapy for me. You know what I'm saying? So prison really made me this way for real, to be honest. I didn't know nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to find myself.
Yeah. One more follow-up to our styles, but so I'm an actor, so I understand like that artistry really like that peace in you, like when you finally get there. Is that something you still visit? Because you're never gonna have like a time where stress is fully gone from your life. Do you ever go back to the poems or the writing process and just say, I need to get back to my art to just calm my mind?
Yeah, for sure. Like I took some time off of music and rap because I felt like my community needed me more than just rapping.
Right.
I feel like they needed me to be boots on the ground and step out. But just recently, man, my young homie was like, Ward, I see what you're doing, man, but we need you to get back to making music. So now I'm working on this project called Black Boy Blinded by Red Lines.
For sure.
So now I went out and I did the research about structured racism and about Franklin D. Roosevelt and the Public Works Administration and redlining. And I'm just so excited, and I'm putting all that into music. So yeah, I'm back in that space now. I need that.
For sure. If you need any actors, let me know. I'm right here, baby.
Oh, for sure, man.
Likewise, but
sure.
I do have a question too, if you don't mind me asking. So something that you just said, like there was a comment that Viola Davis made about and it's not disrespecting your specialist term, it's her actually saying, using the word activist. She said that, not quoting her but paraphrasing, that being the actress that she is and continuing to live her life and like really shining through her art and her gift is her form of being an activist versus, you know, putting boots to the ground. Do you feel at peace being able to do that? I know you just said that a lot of times people will come to you and tell you, like, you know, we actually need you to bring your poetry back. But a lot of times people have an internal struggle between being seen in one capacity and then also being able to live through their art. Have you been able to be at peace with actually just developing your art and still feeling like you are being a community specialist and not betraying a component of it?
There we go. There we go. I like that question. I like this energy in here tonight. I appreciate that. I got a lot of young guys, right? So now my young guys are allowing me to get in the artist space because they're filling in for me, versus when a couple years ago it was just me. So my capacity is growing, and my following, well, not my following, my support is growing to the point where I can take that step back and do music. But yeah, I'm always in the space of being active. I'm always in that space of needing to be on the front line. For some reason, I don't have peace if I'm not on the front line, and that's just my calling. But yeah, yeah, I'm having a good time with my young guys, and they just making me proud, man.
So the community component, like bringing other people on and having the community support of these young guys, it does put you a little at ease to be able to still develop creatively, correct?
Yeah, that's what that's what it's about, right? Ultimately passing it on, because you know, we can't be here forever. So just to leave that legacy and my young guys to step up is very important, and that's my mission. I don't want to be doing this forever. Like, I want them to step up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, feel good to be alive to see it.
95.9 FM. Look, there's firing questions, right? Let's work out the young stallions over here, man.
Young guns in here.
Young guns, yeah.
Yeah,
I think one of the main things I love about you, and I think about my guy Jack that's on the west side. I think about me still in the west side, still living in the 130th area. Like, I can probably move. I know I can move to the suburbs for sure. I refuse to move from there and stay in the neighborhood, one of the houses I grew up in, just because I want the kids to be able to see me there. Right? It's be able to see somebody that is successful or striving to be successful. Oh, he lives right here with me.
It's important.
You know, I'm still in the school district, still in the school, just like you. You're still in the schools. I'm talking to these kids. Tell us about their responses, trying to change their mind frame. Because right now I had a kid, and you guys can chime in on this. I had a discussion with a child, and we were talking about teachers. He's kind of almost disrespecting the teacher, and I had to kind of check him because he was like, "Teachers are broke." I said, "No, teachers aren't broke." And then he said, "I'm like, how much do you think a teacher makes?" He said, $50,000 a year. That's not a lot of money. I said, "Well, not for what they do. It's not a lot, but if you put it in context of Cleveland, it's a decent living." Then he said, "Oh, well, I can make $50,000 a day." I said, "Doing what?"
You know.
Right, I know. But now I was trying to get them, just trying to get them to change that mind frame. The longevity of that is not long. Not like it was in the 90s.
Right.
Like 80s and 90s, you see it last a little bit longer, but as the years go on, it shrinks every year. What do you say to those kids who's saying regular 9-to-5s or square jobs, or getting caught up in the Instagram world of seeing everybody having money to their ears and things like that? What do you say to that kid and saying 50, 60,000 is not a lot of money, I can't do what I want to do with that?
See, that's that fairy tale life to where, you know, the older guys that they looking up to is not telling them the consequences of their, you know, of their reactions. Because what I do is I tell the young guys the consequences, like how I was in prison and I was scared, to be honest. Like, I had never been in prison in my life. You know, seeing fights in front of my face, seeing guys get stabbed. My first day there was a guy who got a locker box dropped on his head, and he got flighted out, and he passed. This is my first day there. So I talk about those experiences. Like, man, if you want that, then yeah, go do what you do. But this ain't really what you want, man. Like, that life is not what you want, and it's not always the physical aspect of it. It's the mental part, to where you got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You got to go to chow when they ask you to go to chow. You got to get on the phone when they tell you to get on the phone. You gotta wait to get a visit. I was 4 hours away, so I ain't seen my mom then for like a year. That hurt.
Sound like you was in Lancaster, close to that, in that area.
Yeah, I was. So I was out of Marion, Ohio.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There it is. Remember what I say about guy Dylan? That's all I think about Marion.
I was in North Central. So yeah, I give them the consequences of their reactions. I mean, of their actions. And that's the thing, and we don't give them the consequences. We only glorify the good part of it, and it's it's more consequences than good things from it.
Right.
So that's my thing. Like, that's what I tell them. Like, okay, you want that life, then this is what's gonna happen.
What are some of the things that we can do? Because we can explain that to them, but when they wake up every morning, we'll just start to the kids right now that's on 55th, and they wake up every morning and this is all they see.
Yeah.
Right. Like, they see this on Instagram, they see this on TikTok, and they wake up and they see this. Like, what do we tell that kid? Like, yo, there is a brighter day, but their mom is not doing this, or their dad is not doing it. They got cousins, they got uncles, and they don't see any wins. Like, it's about seeing wins, and they don't see the wins. Yeah. So all the wins they want to see is either they want to say either sling a crack rock or got a rookie jump shot, right? And that's still prevalent in Cleveland, in a lot of cities, a lot of big cities.
Yeah.
How do we get that mind frame? What do we got to do?
It's generational.
Okay.
You just said that. It's generational. Yeah. So my father was a drug dealer. My uncle was. He was in a gang. My brother eventually did the same thing, and I did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And I went to prison. So for sure, it's not an overnight thing, and it's what they see daily. It's unfortunate, man, to say this, but you can only grab the ones that's going to listen. And you got to let the ones who not going to listen experience the hardship. You try to be that person for them, like, I walk this life. Don't do it. But unfortunately, they're not going to listen. So you can only grab the ones that's going to listen.
And I think that's the sad part about it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. And majority of them don't listen. Majority of them don't listen, man. There was a 12-year-old just murdered a 17-year-old right at Lonnie Burton.
Wow.
12 years old. What you doing with a gun, man? And they both was in my videos.
And so we could go back and forth all day. The two kids that just happened on 77th. There were John Marshall kids. Just talked to them on Thursday. First thing I say to them, all these kids, be safe. When we go every night, I see up, yo, be safe. Get a text. Two kids, car exploded on the highway.
I just heard about that today.
Two kids from the schoolhouse.
I heard about that. I didn't know they were kids. But I heard about
They didn't graduate. They're just seniors in high school.
Wow,
that's sad.
See, those situations. When you're this close, and you feel like you're giving out so much help information, but then you get this. We get my football player got shot during the season, right? Another one got shot in the back during the season. Like, it's just this ongoing, and we're gonna morph into how COVID is affecting all the guys, how it affected being away from school, being away from the structure, and we're gonna talk about suicide, because the rate within the African American community, especially with teenagers, the suicide rate is going up immensely. Immensely. The numbers are staggering. So we'll get this record right now called "Suicide" by my guy Walt. Go ahead and introduce your record.
Yeah, man. So this is my first single, "Suicide," featuring my guy Lex, man. First single off Black Boy, Blinded by Red Lines, and it taps into anti-suicide. So yeah, check it out, "Suicide."
Yeah, the two boys got they're the ones. They said were stolen. I'm sitting back like, I'm in the stolen car. Stolen explorer, like, nigga.
I just heard about that today.
And the kid, Kevin, he stayed in Cleveland. His mom and them went to Toledo. He wanted to graduate from Marshall, so he stayed. He was living with the boy. He passed away with him. He said, 2 guns in the car. I just found my problem. Had a car, like he peeled off on the car. I don't know who's driving. They put off the car.
Yes, it affects our decisions. Surrounded by crack fiends. They shoot us with vaccines. This is the black trade, killing our black queens. They killing our black kings.
I heard they couldn't even get them out because the car was
They do not cherish us. They love to embarrass us. This is America. They do not cherish us. They love to embarrass you. I know that is pressure.
Like I think that's the most troubling part.
My sister is special. I know that is pressure. My special. My sister is special.
And I heard they had guns in there. The guns was going off.
Everything think about suicide. Everything think about taking my life. Everything think about suicide. Everything think about taking my life. Everything think about suicide.
The boy, the guy, like it's just been a horrible year for John Marshall. With this kid, the kid that got killed at Gunny Wreck back in October. He killed him at Gunny Wreck here in the West Side. One was a basketball player, one was a football player. One graduated in 2018, the other one ended up in Walter. I like to call him Walt.
That was nice.
Like that record?
I like that.
Yeah, but this,
That
listen. He got a joint about, I got to put it in my dad, by Black Wall Street. I like that record.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's a hard record. Got one about Black Wall Street.
Appreciate that too, bro. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
So let's get into this. We got some time. Let's dig deep into this.
Let's.
COVID happened, and when that happened, I think it set our inner city and that's across the nation. Impoverished neighborhoods back another 5 years, right? And I'm not even talking about the educational part. I'm talking about the mental and the social part of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because as I look at it at the school right now, the 9th and 10th graders that we have in there was never, ever experienced high school before. Remember, there was a 7th and 8th grade last time they've been in school. And you can see the maturity level is not there whatsoever. And at the time during COVID, a lot of them was at home by themselves. No structure. And then now suicide rates is going up. Is it any way, and we're not all professionals, but solutions for this, awareness for this, for this situation for our kids right now? Because we were already in the back of the line, now we're further back.
I watched that personally. I got a 16-year-old daughter. She goes to John Hay. She was getting a 3.75. She go to science and medicine. And when you know they had made them go to online school, my daughter started to get D's and F's. And she couldn't sit. I watched her. She couldn't sit in front of that computer all day. Like I dislike even going on Zoom meetings for hours. So for her to be in front of that computer for 6 hours a day, you know what I did? I told her to shut it. I shut that down. Like when school start back, I know what you can do. And I just stopped supporting her being on Zoom. Like I couldn't see my daughter go through that pain, and her grades was decreasing and her self-esteem was dropping because that's her thing. Like academics, she get a 3.75. So now fast forward now when school start back, she just got honor roll. You get what I'm saying? So man, they damaged our kids. They get our kids. Go ahead.
Oh no, keep going because I get bounce off that.
Yeah, and then you know it gets deeper with that because like you know my Monday through Friday I'm an outreach specialist for a lead resource center for lead poisoning, right? So a lot of these homes have lead poison inside of them. Every home that was built before 1978 got lead in them. So when you got us quarantining in these lead-filled homes, that's giving us ADHD, brain damage, kidney failure. These kids coming back out into the world after being quarantined and filled with lead, like lead-filled homes, asbestos, pesticides. Like it's so much stuff in these homes that I see on a day in, day out by going through all 17 wards of the city. That was a strategic plan, man. That was a strategic plan in my opinion.
And I could bounce. You guys can join in whenever you want to hop in. I want to bounce off that because watching now, our kids was not prepared to go to school online. Our teachers weren't prepared to teach online. And then I watched that setup, and I watched my daughter set up at Lakewood, right? Yeah. And they did not struggle with it, right? And I watched how the teachers did it. I watched my daughter sit there. She didn't even have her camera on. She just sat there listening and doing the work. And I'm watching, and their teachers, everything was set up. Why? Because they've been doing it before the pandemic. They were on the Zoom. They were on the Microsoft Office meetings and all that. They were already ahead of having their own laptops and doing their things.
Yeah.
So when they had to do it, wasn't much. Little difficult here and there, you know, trying to get it right, but matter of fact, she probably got better grades. It went up. And I watch the kids at John Marshall, watch the kids at East Tech, watch this, and watch our kids struggle because we were not prepared to go to school online. Now, Saucy went to school online a little bit in college, right? Have online. I'm pretty sure Gap Tooth Diva took some online classes in college. So it's been going on. I took online classes in college way back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
In my mind, why were we not prepared? And not just our school district.
Yeah.
We talk about Akron, we talk about Youngstown, we talk about Cincinnati, we talk about Columbus, we talk about Philly, we talk about Chicago, we talk about all of them. They all had issues with this.
And then you got a lot of times those, like just me just looking on my experience, just living across the street from East Tech. I'm noticing that majority of those communities that struggle with red line communities. So I'm out in Parkland paying my car insurance, and they having a ball. Like their water parks open, they kicking it, they running around, schools open. But when I came back down on my side of town paying car insurance, they got the water parks closed, the pools closed, the schools closed, libraries, recs closed. So I see that as a strategic plan. Like all the communities of poverty struggle.
Yes.
But the communities that wasn't of poverty flourished through it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. I advocated for schools to open back so much.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that. Like, who was in here talking about that?
Yeah, man. I was a big advocate on that.
You guys have any opinions out there?
I have a question more than an opinion, if that's okay. When we're talking about the pandemic and things like that, and before we got to that amazing song, we were talking about how sometimes you can only grab the ones that are going to listen, right? And I feel a lot of times there are like kids out there or just people in general who might want to better themselves or their situation or the way they're living, blase, 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 but they don't necessarily see a way out or have proper motivation. And I would ask, what I would like to ask you is, especially post-COVID, where a lot of things are closed and a lot of the options we had to get like our releases out, like a rec and go play ball, or let's go here and meet up with this person and do this. Where can we find like that motivation if we can't go out and get that escape? And when I say we, I am talking for like young people and stuff like that. Like, where can we find that escape? Because not everybody is kind of like into the arts necessarily. Like I know personally that if I want an escape and I don't have a scene or a thing lined up, that I'll watch a movie, dissect it, and in my own little brain, that's my own little fun, right? So, but like, where can somebody else who might want to better themselves and isn't necessarily wanting to go into like the unsavory parts of life and experience that and go through that, how could they find a way to kind of come up with it?
I wish I had a good answer for that. That's something that you really gotta tap into yourself for that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what you like to do in life. You gotta know what catches your eye the most. Like I can't say cause I do a youth art therapy session, right? So I got a nonprofit, Create Art Not Violence, where I help kids overcome their traumatic experiences by using art. So we do film, hip hop, poetry, same stuff I was talking about in jail. So those kids, I got over 65 kids, right, to do that. And they had a great time, you know what I'm saying? But for the kids who didn't like art, I didn't really have an answer for them. I was trying to invite them in, but they're like, "Well, I'm cool, and I don't do that." So my advice to them was just to find something that you like to do and tap into it. Like, I don't have an answer for that, bro, to be honest.
I hear you, though. I know that is a real answer. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Because I would say art, but just like you said, everybody not into it. You know what I'm saying?
Tap into whatever you got going on. Whatever catches your eye. I like
and go hard and research and study.
Well, I do have a follow-up question based off of something that you said earlier, and then just this answer that you gave just now. So you said that you had desires to be different things that you didn't feel like would be accepted in your immediate community. So while you don't have specific, I guess, feedback on what you think they should do outside of art, how do you feel like, how would you advise children who want to do things that may be seen as different and or weird or just, completely out of the norm for their immediate environment to really just break out of that and go pursue what it is that they want to do and basically overcome the criticism or the perceived criticism that you anticipated coming from your community right now as being a child?
It's got to be in you. It can't be on you. And what I'm saying is that there was never any examples for me, like, to do what I'm doing. I didn't have any role models. I didn't have nobody to show me how to start a nonprofit. I didn't show anybody. I didn't have anybody to show me, like, well, you can do arts and become successful, or you can. I didn't have that, so I had to tap into it myself. It was in me. It got to be in you. You got to pull it from within. You got to search for that yourself. I don't think it's no example, or nobody can show you it if you don't want to do it yourself.
So basically, self-reliant.
Pull from within.
Pull from within. That's 5.9 FM. I got what? Dropping jewels.
Dropping straight gems.
Every now and then we gotta have these conversations. Not every now and then, we need to have more of these conversations. And I have to use my platform more. A lot of guys who have media platforms gotta use this platform more to give information out to the community and talk more about it. Because that's how solutions come about if we don't talk about it, right? You know, you just think we complain, we see it, but then we don't do anything about it. You know, we wait for other people instead of just doing it. You know, and trying to figure out a solution, trying to bridge those gaps and what's going on, and hoping as much as you can. No, that's everybody got to do their part.
Everybody, yeah.
No matter how you do it, small, big, whatever, is a part that's being done, and hopefully that can grow the tree. Well, man, I appreciate you.
Oh, man, I appreciate
all the
y'all.
time, man.
Appreciate y'all. Can I just close out with one more?
Go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead, do your thing, man.
Okay.
You got time. Go ahead.
So recently, man, I just came a part of this community resource center called Clubhouse Essentials, and I'm in partnership with 3 other young ladies. The founder is Alicia Corpinen, man. We do yoga, cardio, health and wellness. I actually host an event with my co-host Cassandra called Ghetto Therapy. So it's every Wednesday from 6 to 8. We get about 40 to 50 people easy come in and talk about community issues. Like today we were talking about gun violence, and we brought in a young lady named LJ. She came in talking about Project Ripple, and that was a strategic plan to help end gun violence. Then before then we brought in Tamir White's mother, Samaria, talking about issue 24, police accountability. And then the week after that we brought in Kristen Farmer, which is a grief specialist and an author. And she also had her own nonprofit, which was Birthing Beautiful Communities, for solving infant mortality. So we brought her in, and we brought in a nurse practitioner and a therapist to come speak to the residents in the community. So providing platforms like Ghetto Therapy, which I provide, getting 40 to 50 people in easy, is a way. Because these people is coming in there vetting, they praying. Like we had a young lady in there named Rhonda from Obedience is Key. She came in there and prayed over us. We had a great session. And what I'm seeing is therapy is a way to heal minds. You get what I'm saying? Like therapy in the hood. The majority of us don't go to therapy in the ghetto, so I decided to bring therapy to the ghetto. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because we want to make this cool again. Like we want to do this. We want to make therapists popular than rappers. And that's the thing, because we all got a problem. We just don't know it. And everything is generational. I believe that the violence in the community is not from a lack of money. You seen Trump and all them flooded the hood with the money. We had millions. Everybody had 20,000 at one time. And what we do, we bought more guns. We got more destructive. More people got murdered. I think that the violence is a problem of mental health, of generational trauma. It's generational, spilling out into the streets. Your great-great-grandmother went through it. Your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. Now you. I think that the violence is coming from generations of trauma, man. So ghetto therapy is a way to heal generational trauma. So I do that, like I said, every Wednesday from 6 to 8 at the Clubhouse Essentials, 2765 East 55th, the License Bureau Plaza. I encourage everybody to come out, speak your piece. It's a safe space, no judgment. Yeah, ghetto therapy.
That's dope. We need more. We need more neighborhoods, more wards, man. We need more that make.
100%.
Listen, I go to therapy. Everybody needs to go to some type of therapy.
Yeah.
Therapeutic situation to ease your mind and get some trauma. Everybody has some type of trauma.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
And if it didn't come out, that means you're suppressing it right now. And eventually, at some point,
It will come out.
it's going to come out.
Oh yeah, and shout out to my homegirl Ed, man. She do, like, we also got gardening in there, so she teach gardening.
Oh,
Shalom and tranquility. So we teach gardening inside of our space too, man. So it's just a whole collective of space of just building community from within. Like, yeah, very organic.
Very okay. 95.9 FM, man. This is my guy. Like I said, he always got to invite me. He don't got to. Yo, I'm coming through. All right, come on.
I'm coming through. Shout out to my guy Richard Starr, man, for that big victory. Thank you.
I know that is big victory. Shout out to Richard. I gotta get Richard up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Get
Come
Richard
through
up
more
here.
often, man.
Hey, man, I'm pulling up.
I got you.
I'm pulling up.
He right up the street. He's literally right up the street.
I'm literally right up the street across from East Tech.
Come on, drop the Instagram. I'm about to follow you right now.
So you could pull up Free Thinkers. Free Thinkers since '87.
Free Thinkers since '87.
It'll pop up. It's an LLC page.
Got you.
It's just a lot. When I get to going into it, you be like, all right, Walt, give me something else.
So me trying to find a picture from Walt is the hardest thing ever.
Got so many.
On that page, it wasn't even pictures. It was like all video,
All content.
all visuals, all content visual. I'm like, listen, you don't got one still photo in there. I did go all the way down to like 2 years ago.
Yeah, because I'm
old photo.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm out there. I ain't got time to sit still taking pictures. I got to be on the ground.
Come on.
That's where the videos come in at.
I mess with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, he's really dope, man. I appreciate you as always, and come through, man. Anything that's going on, make sure lead poison. It is here. It is in our neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
And we need to put more information out about it.
Oh yeah. So for anybody with lead concerns, your kids we connect you directly to the free testing for the kids. Also, they passed a new law that all rental property have to be certified for lead. If not, you're gonna receive a citation. So give us a call at Lead Safe Cleveland, 833-601-5323. 833-601-5323 for all your lead concerns.
There we go.
That's it.
Y'all got the resources, man. Put them to work.
Flat out.
We got the resources. A little bit off subject though. Your governor, Saucy Sims. I say he's your governor because you're Republican, aren't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you was. I thought you was. No, but for real though, he did sign the bill and said, I don't know if it's next year or the year after, that each senior had to graduate for a personal finance class.
Oh, okay.
Financial literacy class.
There we go.
You have to pass.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's my man's name? What's my man's name?
I forgot his name. I ain't gonna lie.
What's my man's name? Because that's a class that we've been needing.
But he put on the bill that every school, you have to graduate with a financial literacy class.
Yeah, we probably needed that a lot sooner.
That's dope. We probably needed that 30 years ago.
They're kind of behind.
You know, I don't know.
Okay, never too late.
Yeah,
I feel that.
he's never too late. But no, shout out to him. He did sign it. You know, he's on the brink of. He might not be governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're upset with him.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Well, a lot of other things.
They don't want us to handle our pockets, man.
Nah, a lot of other things, man.
Okay.
You know, he's an older guy now with 20 grandkids. So he's not the throwback Republican like he used to be. He's kind of he's the teetering line now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, depending what his wife says, he's gonna do.
Yeah.
95.9 FM, DJ Kristyles, so we'll come right back.
Alright, y'all. Appreciate you.
Every day think about suicide. Every day think about taking my life. Every day think about suicide.